and then I'm gonna put some confectionery sugar on them and thicken.
We are live. We are live. We are live. This is the Real Sports Fan Podcast. Back for another episode. It is Monday, June the 21st, 7 p.m. on the nose. I'm on time today, and we got a very special guest, person I grew up with, person I've known for a long time, and I'm just very excited. She's multitasking right now, so I definitely appreciate her jumping on. Just flew from Maryland back to Texas, so definitely appreciate it. Tahya Buffy Jones. Buffy, what's going on?
Not much. What's up, man? I'm glad you got me
Man,
on
good to
here
see you.
finally.
Oh, come on now. And look, it's funny you say that because I had a couple people say, yeah, you finally got Buffy on here. I said, yeah, it's time. It's time.
Yes,
So,
sir.
again, I definitely appreciate you taking out some time. Like you said, I know you're a busy person. You know, you're doing great right now. And that's kind of where, no doubt, and that's kind of where I want to start at because obviously, you know, I want to give you your flowers on the basketball court, but I also want to just give you your flowers in life, you know, period. You know, I mean, because of what you're doing now. So, you know, talk a little bit about, what you're doing now. I know you moved to Texas.
Okay, yeah,
stepping it up.
I actually moved out to Texas kind of just to use Texas as a crutch, you know, to get higher up on the ladder for real. It was kind of a networking thing. Texas is probably the biggest state in America. So so I figured, you know, why not go to the biggest place and figure out how it's done. And I'll bring that all back around. But I actually always wanted to travel, and it's just giving me the opportunity to do so. It's giving me the opportunity to go see other places, and in the meantime, make money and do what I do. And
I like that.
But the cooking thing, you know, it's always been around me. I just, I didn't really take it serious until back in, I think it was like 2012. My stepdad had passed, and, you know, he was a self-proclaimed chef. So, and we used to have friendly little banters about it. And so I just took it serious and found out it was lucrative, and I went forward with it.
Wow. I kid you not, probably 2 or 3 hours ago, me and Mika had a conversation. She said that exact same thing, that she said no surprise because of your stepdad and because she remember being around there cooking it up, chefing it up, and she said no surprise. And that's when I said, when you find something that you love in life, you can make that your career, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. So
I feel like if I love basketball as much as I love cooking, I probably would have kept with that. I really don't feel like I put a lot of what I could have done into basketball because I really wasn't never in love with the game until I stopped playing it. Why I played it, I liked it. I did it because I knew I could, but I wasn't in love with it. I did it because I knew it. Love wasn't
that's scary to think. Yeah, if you put that work in, you know,
if I really put the dedication forward,
1,300 points plus,
right.
That's
so
crazy.
Imagine what I'd have did if I really had wanted to play and I wasn't being pressured to play, because I remember saying that I'm not playing it at school. I'm not playing at school ball. They too organized for me. I like to play street ball. But I got there and I was good with the program. You know, the program actually, it kind of worked around me. You know, even because they knew what type of style player I was, so they kind of let me, you know, have my freedom on the court as well. So it all worked out.
Yeah, it did. And talk a little bit about. I want to piggyback off what you just said because you're 100% right. I remember, you know, growing up in Easton, growing up down bottom. Obviously, you know, we were knew all your siblings and obviously and whatnot. And we all hung out and played together and stuff like that. And I remember, you're right. You know, street ball is one thing. You know, but it was a while before you did the organize. So what made you finally, you know, want to go that route? And what age you think you made that decision to finally start playing organized?
Probably about, I think I was about 13 or 14 years old. I really, to be honest, I really didn't make a lot of basketball games when I was a kid. I really don't recall going to a lot of actual high school games. I was limited to what I could do, for real, to be honest. I just was limited. Funds wise and transportation, everything that could limit me, I was limited to. So any basketball I seen was totally at the park, and what I seen around, you know what I mean, like my uncle Ronald Blake, he set me off. He set me off. I remember him. He seen me with the ball all the time. I always dribbled it. I actually learned how to shoot using a one-way sign. It was a one-way sign outside of our house. and I used to pretend that it had a net on it and a rim. And if I hit like below a certain word on there, it meant I missed. If I hit above, it meant I bricked. So if I didn't hit it totally like in the middle right where it was at, I missed the shot. So that's actually how I taught myself how to shoot the basketball off the one-way side.
Yeah, that's so I'm laughing because I can remember you doing that. Like I can remember, you know what I mean?
All day.
Because practice your forwards all day. Yeah, on that, man. Like you said, man, people had no idea like a lot, where a lot of things just start at, like where they originate at, and then you take it from the essence of it and then you make it even more, and that's in sports and in cooking. Like, so we talked about both of those things.
It's the same thing to me being a point guard, basically. Organizing things and making things go this way and going with my flow. Right. My flow of the game is always what it is when it comes to me cooking too. It's the same difference with me. It goes my flow. I don't rush anything. I never get flustered. I just be like, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna make it happen. Right.
Talk a little bit about the event you had over the weekend, coming back home. I heard the food was banging. Sorry I didn't make it. Talk to me about that. That was dope.
Yeah, that was dope. I had a couple of people from, down bottom, of course. They hit me up. They're like, man, you should come back and cook something for us. I'm like, nah, I ain't coming back to the Maryland cooking nothing. When I was there cooking, wasn't nobody worried about it. You go all the way somewhere else, you become a different product to people. And that's what happened with me. To me, like once I was here, nobody liked what I done or cared about what I done. As soon as I left, it seemed like everybody was concerned about what I was doing. How that out of sight, out of mind type of predicament for me. That's just what it is.
And I'm glad with your honesty though, because see, a lot of people. First of all, a lot of people probably didn't even think you was going to leave. What happens with some people is this:
stay, let alone leave, stay.
Thank you. Or she gonna go, or she gonna go do this, or she'll be back, and then when they see you doing great, they're like, oh, tell her come down. You know what I mean? And again, I'm saying that to say I still appreciate you still coming back, because it's still about the culture, boogie down bottom where we grew up at. Certain ones that still want to show love and see you, but on the flip side of that, I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Right. And I wanted to give back to the you ever heard of the Brighter Christmas Fund?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
When we were younger kids, I mean, a lot of people used to know. My mom got 7 kids, so it really wasn't that easy. It could have been if she was working harder or something, but if she wasn't, evidently. So we had to count on a lot of other people outside of our home to make sure we got what we needed sometime. And I feel like I wouldn't care if I had $1 more than anybody else. I would split it so that we could be even. So that's kind of why I did that. I want to do the Brighter Christmas Fund because I feel like they took care of me at times when my mom couldn't and whoever else couldn't, and it didn't happen, and they made it happen. So I want to do that for somebody else. I want to make somebody feel like they made us feel.
That's what it's all about, giving back.
That's what it's all about to me. I don't really care about the money for real. I just want to do things the right way for once. You doing it. I mean, like you said, you giving back. You did it in a right way, and then also the weekend of Juneteenth. So I don't know if you planned it that way, but it was a perfect I got to
weekend.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. So that's dope. Talk a little bit. You kind of mentioned that your mom having 7 kids. Talk about growing up though. With amongst all the siblings, and maybe how tough it was at times and how you overcame that.
Well, I mean, of course, it was tough, I guess I could say, because just like now, my mom's flighty. She likes to have her flight. Unbeknownst, she had 7 of us. So that had its turmoils because it was times when we were out of control. And not even just all of us, just in general, you know how that goes. If one person does something, it's like you're a product of your environment. Everybody thinks that everybody around you does it. You the company you keep. So if one of my brothers done something when we were younger, they didn't say, individualize that person. They said per kid's done it. So we had to shake that a lot. We had a lot of work to do to get out of that. People thinking that, I had a lot of work to do, and I still do. I still find myself trying to let people know I'm not who I was, or let people know I'm not just Bert's kid. You feel me? So that was real. A lot. That was the only thing I really dealt with that really affected me coming up, was just being compartmentalized instead of individualized. I didn't like that.
That's deep. Oh, that's deep.
That's why I set aside myself. So
I like that. I like how you put that, because you're right. You know, sometimes you are, you know, the product environment, and people think, you know, just because maybe something's they see things a certain way, then they automatically assume it's the same with that individual. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, I like that. I like that.
I was fighting that every day, along with everything else. You know what I mean? Having that chip on my shoulder of having to know people didn't like me, or know people didn't want me around, whatever, you know, whatever their preference was. And, you know, like to me, even with all of that going on, I still mentally felt like I was me. You know what I mean? Like I really didn't care. I really still had my arrogance. I really still had my attitude. It really didn't matter, but it was a battle.
Jokes, all that.
It didn't matter. I made it a joke, but you know the crazy thing is, I made it a joke to make myself feel better. A lot of times, I felt myself using that as a coping mechanism.
Yeah. Now I know exactly what you mean. I mean, even me, you know, growing up down bottom, and you know, sometimes people want you to hang out. You know, a mom telling you to come here and feeling like you got to do this, and you know, so the pressure. So you know, I'm definitely with you on that. Talk a little bit about, you kind of mentioned it already. You know, shooting on the one way sign and all that, but talk about where the love of basketball came, or was it just something that you maybe just started on with your brothers and it became a thing? Or cause I know you used to play with us all the time.
It was kind of. I was following my older brother Tyron around already. I was following around to see where he was going at. I find out he's going to the basketball courts around the circle, and he's going to Dover. And I'm like, "You Bert know you going all these places?" He like, "I don't care, we'll play basketball." And so at first I'm just watching it for real. I pick up the ball, I would dribble it. You know, eventually they knew it was his natural instinct, and they knew I could play. And like I said, my Uncle Ronald really just fed into it. Once he knew that I really liked it, and I would go and walk to the Dover Brook Park by myself, or walk out to Ottawa Park, he started to take me serious. He like every day we would have to be there. They were the YMCA every day. He like, well, we go to even if we went for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I went every day just to shoot some hoops, or just to figure out something new.
Yeah. Right.
But that's and talk about. I think my Uncle Ronald definitely put the love for it in me.
Oh yeah. I would agree. And even you mentioned him a couple of times. You know, I could definitely see that, because I can remember some of the times too where it might just been you and the ball. You know, you might be walking down the street dribbling or act like you were shooting and stuff like that. But and that also, what I was going to say, it reminds me of when you we would let you play with us at times. At times we wouldn't. You know, like some of the guys are, Buffy, go there somewhere. Buffy, you ain't playing. But talk about how that helped you playing with the guys, because it's different. It's more physical. So didn't it make it easier for you when you played against the girls?
That made it like a walk in the park, for real. That's really how it got to that point, because I'm playing with them like I play with men all the time. I was playing with grown men when I was about 15 years old. So I was so used to that aggression and that physical that a lot of those girls didn't like it. They didn't like you to touch them, let alone be leaning on them to put, in the paint or something. They didn't want you to touch them. So I used that to my advantage a lot. I was really aggressive. I grew up with all boys in the house. I played ball all my life. So I was always aggressive, and that really helped me. And that comes to me where I started to, at first I was shooting the ball all the time. I used to be a shooter. I thought that was all you had to do was shoot the rock. But I knew I could dribble. But I knew I could dribble. But once I realized I could use that 3-point threat and use that middle, because Lynette was a mid-range player. And I used to like the mid-range at first until I expanded my range. And then I wanted long range shot. But the long range opened up the mid-range for me to use for my dribbling mode to get to the rim. I just used the 3 points and the layups. And I used the mid-range for my dribbling area. That was my area. Once I got to that foul line, the ball was coming up off the ground. It wasn't hit the ground no more. I was going to make a move from the foul line on.
That's right. Yeah, and that's the same thing that Wandy kind of mentioned, that same thing about the physicality playing with the guys. When she played with the girls, like you said, some of them, they didn't even want you to touch them. But all the ones I talked to, you, Wandy, Mika, some of the other ones I've had, they always talk about playing with the guys and how that's helped. So you never, I know you said probably organized ball was 13, 14. So before high school, Did you play any organized ball at all,
Yeah.
or was it all?
I played TCYB. I played with Dale Green.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened was I went to a basketball game with my Aunt Lisa. It was probably like maybe my third basketball game in Easton. And I think they might have played. They played somebody because it was really kind of crowded out there. And my Aunt Lisa went to Dell. She's like, my niece can play ball too. I heard you got the girls out the middle school playing. And he like, who? She like, her. And he looked over at me. He like, come out to the gym on Tuesday. I'm like, I'll be there. So I get out there, and it's all middle school girls. I started playing with them, and I'm really looking at them like, y'all ever played basketball before? Like, I thought y'all had a team out here.
Right.
I didn't realize I was gonna be I was like, man, 5th, 6th grade. I didn't realize I was gonna be that adjusted to that quickly. I adjusted really quickly. I started playing with them like I had been playing with them for years.
Yeah, because see, the difference was, you had that background of playing ball on that level, even though it wasn't organized. You had played against guys. You had worked out. You had done these things, and like you said, and you said it earlier, not even having a love of the game, but just knowing the game. You know what I'm saying? So you know that makes it. Yeah, that makes it different.
Game. Like right now, I probably can't run 4 quarters, but my knowledge of the game to get me through the game. Just, I know how to sustain energy, and all of that taught me a lot. So I use that all.
I agree. That's real. So talk about going to high school, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't play your freshman year
I didn't play. I didn't play at all. I was too busy. Like I was running around minding my business. I was like, I'm not going out there and playing at high school. No, they ain't winning no games, and I ain't going. I was mad. I was like, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to lose. I was upset. So I was like, no, I ain't playing. I was on my ass for real in high school. So 9th grade, I felt like we had to put our foot down and let them know we were in school. I said, next year I'll go play basketball.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah. Because when you went your sophomore year, they were coming off a 6-15 season, and Coach Phillips, she had even said that they were low on bodies the year before because a lot of people didn't play. So coming in, you got people like yourself, Brittany Blackwell, Tanika played, Megan Neaton, all y'all came in that same year, and you came in as a sophomore. So what was your mentality? What was your mentality your sophomore year, not playing your freshman year? What was your mentality coming out? What were you trying to prove? Because you had a couple of things on there, Jen Dottie, Kate Sullivan.
I was catching up. I was catching up. I was letting them get ahead. One year, I said next year, y'all better be ready, because when I come out next year, I'm putting that ball on that motherfucking panel when I'm going in. I wasn't even playing. I came in. I didn't even start my first game in 10th grade. I remember we played St. Michael's like always, and I actually didn't come in. I think maybe till like the end of the first quarter or something. And the crazy thing, I think I might have even scored double digits that game, my first game. And I remember one of the girls coming to the coach the next game, and she said, "You mind if Buffy starts over me?" And they was all seniors starting. It was 5 seniors starting when I started. It was all 5 seniors. I was just a sophomore. One of the girls, she came up. She asked them if they mind that I started over her. And next game, I was in the lineup.
Wow. That says a lot. That says a lot about. That says a lot about what they see in you. Like even though they was a senior, because you know how they did. Sometimes people just started because they were higher class anyway. But they seen the skill you had and said, hey, even though she's a sophomore, put her in there.
And I came in straight with the leadership role. I came in, I wasn't trying to take over leadership, but I was good with the people who were leading the team at the time. We were already good friends outside of basketball and outside of school, like Brittany Smith. I played with her my first year. Her and Karen Spector. They were all like Kate Sullivan and Jen Doty. They were already there. And I came in and we all got along real easy. They loved that I could ball. A lot of girls I met loved that I could ball and loved that just love that competition. Some women did not like it at all. They didn't like how arrogant and cocky I was at all.
Well, and the thing about it, I think the thing about it is, one thing about you, which I always respect, you always been vocal. Like you always was yourself. You know what I mean? No matter what might have been going on personally, you always were yourself. So some people, they might not know how to take that. Or she might think she good. She thinks she not. But hey, you was. You know what I mean? You would put the work in. So you just going there and basically proving it now.
And a lot of people felt like I wasn't putting the work in to be as good as I was. They're like, well, she only made her to come to practice, or she gets to practice. I'm like, I don't got to practice. Hey, how you doing? I was like, Adam Harvard said, practice?
I practice. He's talking about practice.
I'm going to run 5 laps, and we're going to do layup drills, and we're going to start playing full court.
That's funny. Yeah, and one game stuck out to me your sophomore year. Kate and Jen on the interior. Kate had 24 and 11, or 13, 22 and 13. Jen had 22 and 8, and then from the outside you had 12. Talk about playing with those two. Because that sophomore year y'all were bigger than you were, your junior senior. So talk about a little bit about that. Right. Playing with those two.
We were definitely bigger, but that's definitely not to take over what happened my junior year, because we were smaller junior year, but they were more physical.
But y'all were better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Mook and Brittany wasn't playing no games.
No games.
The reason why I started picking the ball up from the free throw line and going through was because Brittany Blackwell would like, what's her name? She was trying to end the choke slam.
Like hit you? Yeah. Wow.
So if I came in her paint, she was gonna knock me on my behind. So she wasn't playing with me. And I remember at basketball practice, Miss Phillips telling them one time, Wicker's like, y'all play so physical with Buffy, and then we get this other places and y'all act like y'all don't want to play against girls. Like, y'all gotta step the same thing. If I'm like, imagine every girl we playing against is me, then, because the way y'all treat me in practice, y'all can be some ballers. So that's the only, to me, that's cool. The height was still there in my junior year, but Kate and Jen, they just understood organization a little bit better. They were more mentally prepared for the game and emotionally than my juniors were. My junior year, they were a little bit more emotional. They got upset about little things. Kate and Jen, they come out harder. If you mess with Kate on the court, Kate was gonna put that elbow in there. She would do something reckless, and I'm like, Kate just elbowed that girl. But that's how her and Jen was. They were dirty. They played dirty when they wanted to. Brittany and Mook didn't really get dirty, but they got physical. They just didn't get as dirty as I seen Kate and Jen get.
And them get right. Yeah. And I think that helped lay down that foundation for you, because you ended up being an honorable mention your sophomore year. And this is the biggest tell. Now I'm going to go to your junior year, and let me tell you the biggest telling tale that I know how your game went from your sophomore to your junior year. And it's the same thing. I would tell Cabby or somebody else, is you went from, in the paper, Tahya Jones to Buffy Jones. If you look at everything your sophomore year was Tahya Jones. Junior year, senior, it was Buffy Jones.
All of a sudden. Yeah, because they didn't know who I was.
That's how you know you made it. Yeah.
They didn't know. And then they started talking to me and calling me Buffy like I was part of the staff. They got real comfortable with me. And I'm like, they call me Buffy? Like, wow, it was Buffy in the newspaper. Yeah, that was strange to me. That was strange to me when they started to twist the name up.
That's how you know. That's how you know they. That's how. Oh, I noticed. That's how they know. That's how you know they respect you, and that's how you know that they were talking about you on a high level, because you know what I'm saying, it was kind of the same thing with Cabby. He was Deontay, then he was Cabby partner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same thing with Bonky. Jermaine is Bonky Murray. You know, so when they started calling you by that nickname, that mean a lot. For sure. So your junior year, I don't know if you remember, but you guys had a game, and I kind of want to make a parallel here. You guys had a game against Y High. You had first half, I think you scored, but the second half you came out 22 points in the second half against Y High. Close game. You hit a couple big shots. Y'all win by 3. Y'all didn't have Taisha. My bad, Taisha. Y'all didn't have Taisha that game, but y'all still won. Now transition to the playoffs. Y'all have Taisha, and you still do what you do, scoring 20 pluses, but she adds 18 and like 12 boards. Actually, I think it was 18 rebounds. Talk about, like you said, I know you talked a little bit about Taisha, but talk a little bit more about what she brought that junior year, to help y'all out.
She took up space. That space, you know how that is in that center position. That being able to cover that floor, being able to cover a certain area, and being able to exploit that area that she was covering. Luke was used to playing with Tyson was used to playing with me outside too. So she knew already how I played the game. You know what I mean? And she knew that she was free to do as she pleased, as long as she was making them baskets. I didn't care. I'm like, I don't care what you do with this score. I don't care. This score, I don't care who shoot the ball, as long as it go in that net. That's how I was. I didn't care. I didn't care who shot. As long as you had the open shot, take it. Because I would have took it if I had it.
Exactly, but that helps you out and gave you that balance, though. They gave you that balance as well, because
she balanced us out. They balanced us out. Like I said, and Mooka had hands where she could catch the ball. No, was that one of the other had where they could catch the ball, because I had a little zip on my passing. So that's how me and Lynette started really getting into our thing, because she could handle my zip. Like, I threw that ball, I can throw a football. So I was throwing that basketball like it wasn't nothing too. So it was times where I don't know, maybe what I was doing or where I was trying to get the ball to. And, they would be there. It was just chemistry. It was chemistry. Chemistry really helped us a lot. And our chemistry off the court is what really carried us our junior and senior year with those same group of people. It was our chemistry off the court. It had nothing to do with the games. It literally was because we really hung out every day. Me and Lynette went everywhere together. We did everything together. And Mook and Edie and them, they would come with us sometimes. So we never was like, oh, it's just gonna be us two. We like, shit, y'all want to hang out with us? Come on, all of y'all. So we'll all hang out. Right. And we get back to school Monday. We talk about our weekend together. So we got on the basketball court. We might have a joke for something, and that would give us some type of energy. It just would be the little things with us, just little stuff. We had little things we done to keep everybody feeling like we were all one, and nobody was like, bigger than the team. No matter what they were saying. That
off the court means a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That off the court, that chemistry and that coming together, means everything. A lot. What was the biggest reason you would say for your scoring increase from your sophomore year? Because your junior year, you went all the way up to basically 20 points a game. Your junior year, what was the biggest thing? Was it something you did in the summer? Was it your mentality? Was it your team?
It was the mentality. It was the mentality, because when we were coming back, remind you, my sophomore year, going into my junior year, we lost all the seniors. So all of them had left. So I knew that the weight was going to be on me already. And I was already ready for the roles, to be honest. I already was prepared for that. I'm like, all right, next year it's going to be my team. So I'll sit back and relax my sophomore year. Next year I'm taking over. And that's just what it was.
Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah. And I had a feeling, with losing all those seniors, you basically knowing that you had to step up, and that that you wanted that, though. That you relished that opportunity. And like you said, with yourself, with Taisha, and I shorted Taisha, but she actually had 25 and 18 in that playoff game. I'm talking about against Waha. And you talked about Lynette. Talk a little bit more about Lynette. She was a year behind you. Yeah. Talk a little bit more about that bond y'all had and about how tough she was on the court as well. R.I.P. Lynette.
Well, what thing with Lynette was, I remember Lynette, a lot of people don't know Lynette didn't want to play at first. She didn't want to play high school ball just like I did. My 9th grade year, I not want to play. She did the same thing. I ain't coming out to play, and I don't know. I might do track, or I might do this. I don't know if I'm going to do basketball, though. And I'm like, you ain't going to do basketball. I'm like, I'm playing. I'm not going to want to play. I'm playing. And we was already, like I said, playing outside of the school. Prior to her getting to high school, she played with me a lot. So we already had our chemistry as well on the court as well. So Lynette was my MVP, man. I'm trying to tell you. I love Lynette games, man. I used to love it. I used to like pushing her around just to challenge her, but I loved her game. I loved it. I loved that mid-range game. I loved her speed. I felt like she was like Russell Westbrook to me.
Yeah. She was up and down, like I said,
up and down.
Dope mid-range game. Fearless.
And could put them numbers up easy. I might drop 40 points. I might drop 40. Lynette had 35. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's what's crazy is I seen one game. I think it was against Colonel, where you guys combined for 46. I think it was in North Carolina. But it was another game I looked at, and I'm going forward a little bit. Your senior year, you had 38, she had 30 in the playoffs.
30.
Y'all combined for 6. I'm like, I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy what y'all was doing together. It was magical. It was magical. And when you're living in the moment, you don't realize it as much. But because obviously we're around the same age. But when I go back, as I'm older and look back at this, I'm like, man, they was putting up numbers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We scored 70 points by ourselves, and some games wasn't even 70-point games combined.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, we just would step it up. We knew when to step it up. We just knew. We knew. Like I said, our chemistry was stupid. Me and that girl really, literally had it out for each other. We would toss the ball in the air from anywhere in the court, and we just knew that one of us was gonna come up underneath of it. It didn't matter. I didn't even have to see her sometime, and I literally would take the ball and just throw it from like where I was at and throw it past half court because I knew Lynette was underneath them girls somewhere. Because she was a creeper. Yep. She would creep underneath people. So she used to like be down low. She was already, her legs were bow-legged. So she used to like to go in between people and get her little creases. So I already would know where she was at. If I didn't see her face, that meant she was behind them and they was trying to get to her.
You would zip that thing too. I remember that. Yeah, you would zip that thing.
And man, she had hands. Lynette could catch anything I thrown, yo. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. I love Lynette. I love her. I still do. Like, I think about her all the time. I feel like I let go of, I started being more friendlier after Lynette passed. She made me friendlier. Prior to her, I really didn't care to be friendly. I mean, I just played ball. I didn't really care about all of that, making friends when it came to the sport. Yeah. She did. She condoned it. She was okay with it. She made friends and stuff. And okay. You mean everybody, like, I don't never want to meet anybody. She's like, because you don't want to meet nobody. I'm like, I know, right? But eventually I broke that barrier, and I felt like I owed it to her to be nicer to people. So Lynette definitely, she changed me. She made me kinder.
That's dope. So she rubbed off in a positive way. Yeah, iron sharpens iron. And that's definitely what she did.
She balanced me out. She was total opposite than me. So a lot of people didn't even really understand how we played that good together. But that was the whole point of us being opposites. It really made us coexist equally.
Man, I appreciate you sharing that.
During halftime, me and Lynette would play one-on-one games, and like if she was having a bad game, I would force her to play me during halftime. Just so she could get right. I would be like, man, play me one-on-one. We're going to play one-on-one halftime. We just play 5 to 8 or 5, whatever much time we had. Yeah. That was our challenge during halftime to come back. So that was a lot of times why our second half was better than our first. Because if we felt like we was having a bad game, we would play our own game during halftime just to connect with each other.
Is that also one of the reasons why you guys peaked at the right time your junior year? Because a lot of people don't remember. And I would say I was a senior that year, so I remember the run. But you guys made it all the way to the regional championship game, which is big because it's not like you guys ran through the regular season. You guys had a good regular season. Ended up being 12-8. But when the playoffs came, you guys just stuck it up. Where did that playoff run come in? Y'all just got hot at the right time.
We wanted to repeat what we had already had been hearing about with the Kelly and Tam.
Yeah. Kelly
and Kelly, we looked up to them, to be honest. We thought we were them, you know what I mean? Like Tam was definitely Tam. Of course, she was the only reason why I came out my sophomore year. She came to me my freshman year and she's like, you need to come out and play ball. Them streets gonna be there. You don't gotta worry about that. We need you. We need you more than the streets. I'm like, girl, whatever, get out of my face. But then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna come out and play. So we looked up to them for real. We just wanted to kind of keep that going. And with Miss Phillips, we loved her. We adored her. Yeah. She was like our everything for real. And so when it came to Miss Phillips, we kind of we always wanted to make her proud. We kind of wanted to make her happy. We kind of wanted to make her feel like she still was doing exactly what she needed to be doing. Her job was still getting done the right way. And playoffs just meant it even more.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah, thanks for sharing about Miss Phillips. I was going to ask you. It sounds like she was someone that you want to play for, and someone you would run through a wall for. You know what I mean? To play for.
She just so. Man, I don't want to say she's just nice because it's not just nice. It's
like nurturing, kind of
like she's so warming that you conform to her. And that's how it kind of was with us. We kind of conformed to her. Like I said, she let us be ourselves. She knew we was goofy. She knew we liked to party and have fun. As long as we showed up and showed out, she let us live our
she was
lives.
good with that. That's what's up. That means a lot as a coach. When you have a coach that allows you to be you, you to be you and play your game and have your personality, I'm telling you, that means a lot. That means a lot. That's good.
She was able to adjust to our attitudes.
Yeah, right. And able to adjust, you right, because see, some coach, I'm glad you said that like that. See, because some coaches, they're just stuck in their ways. And no matter what different players that come, their way,
they're expecting you to be like the players they coached before.
Exactly. Everybody's different. Everybody's uniquely different, you know. So that's what's up. So your junior year, y'all end up, like you said, made a great run to the regional championship. Lost to Aberdeen in a two-way regional championship, and they go on. So what's your mentality going into your senior year? And when I say that, not just even ball, but I mean your last year of high school as well. You know, academically. As well, not sure if you were thinking about college, but what was your mentality going from your junior year to your senior year?
Finishing it up. I knew, I had to put the cap on what I had done. I mean, sophomore year was about learning for me. Junior year was, just be showing what I had learned. And my senior year was more experience. It was more just me already knowing, having that experience and, just going in to finish up the work I had already set out. Was just getting the job done.
That's what's up. And you continue, basically where you left off at. I'm looking at a game, y'all played North Dorchester. North Dorchester had 32 points as a team. You had 33 by yourself. Outscored the whole team. So you went even to another higher plateau of scoring. You end up going from 19-20 game all the way to 25 points a game. And that gets to the 1,000 points. The game. Do you remember? Let me ask you this before I ask you this question. Do you remember who you scored 1,000 on? What team?
Yeah, for sure. I ain't never forget that.
Who was it?
That was Dorchester.
I started okay, all right. Yes,
on the Vikings, man.
That's what's up.
And the crazy thing is, we did that on purpose, though. We did that on purpose.
Okay.
I didn't know I was close to 1,000. I actually, Miss Phillips was an art teacher as well. One time I walk in I used to visit her classroom at school. So one time I walk into her classroom and she's painting something. She's painting it, but she doesn't want me to see. And I'm usually somebody she lets see all her painting. So I'm like, what could she be possibly painting in there that I can't see? Like, I had no idea I was close to 1,000 points. So we played Denton that game prior to. And I might have had, I think I might have had 19 points, and it was maybe third quarter. And she said, you need 9 more points till you get to 1,000. We could just wait till we get to Cambridge and wait till we play Cambridge at home next week and get it then. I was like, all right, woo, let me out. And I came. We had already won the game against Denton, so I came and sat out and held those 9 points for Vikings that I barely got.
What I was gonna say, talk about how nerve-wracking that was, though, because that's what it made you a little nervous.
I wasn't nervous prior to the game. I don't really get what it was. Maybe it was just I think the first and second quarter, it was the auditorium. It was crazy already. I wasn't mentally prepared. I thought it was gonna be easy because I was used to scoring 9 points a quarter, let alone only needing 9 points in a game. So it was just a lot of everything.
Everybody says
like that though. Like 13 points that game.
I think 13, and you started off I think like 0 for 10, and kept maybe a little bit more than that, and kept going though. You kept and you got it. But everybody says that when they know they got, even Marty, when Marty Belly was on, you talked about the difference he made too. The impact he made in your life too. You share it with me. But even he said, like, when you know a certain amount you got to get, it just you just press a little more. Terry, I talked to Terry offline, same thing, So it's just naturally like that, for some reason, So cool.
All.
That's what's up.
Yeah, Marty.
But you
Marty up.
Talk about Marty. Go ahead. Let's say
what Marty did. I was playing. We was at practice one time. Marty pulled me up. I think we was playing around shooting shots from half court or something. We used to do that all the time because I like watching him shoot the ball. So he was shooting. We were shooting from half court. He came up to me. He was like, "Everybody already know you can shoot the ball, but they don't know how to put that ball on that ground and get in that paint." He was like, "You aggressive. Them girls don't like that." And after he told me that, it was over. I started, man, I ain't want to do nothing but layups. I'm like, I was ready to run him over, just go right to the paint. Yeah, he put that battery in my pack when he putting that ball down on the wood. He told me to put that ball down on that ground and go in that paint. And that's how I scored my 1,000 points so fast. To me, a lot of people say it's because of the 3-point shooting, but we scored a lot of layups.
Yeah, I agree. It was that because, like you said, you always could shoot. I mean, even growing up, you always had a nice shot. I remember how your feet used to be and everything shooting. I remember all that. But when you started putting it on the ground, because like Marty said, they don't want that physicality. So you going through the hoop hard, you got land stuff like that. You know, it just made it easier. So that scoring average steady climb because of that. Right. Yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, like you said, you kept scoring, and you basically did just what you said you did during this 5K. You looked up to Tam Corsi, you looked up to Kelly Gibson. Wandy, a few years before you, scored 1,000 in 2,000, and then you get your 1,000 points, and you up there right with them. You know, you were the fourth woman at that time to do that. So I mean, how does that feel? You know, looking back on that accomplishment.
When I look around and see who got it, I'm like, I should be right up there with them. That's what I always say. I'm right where I should be. I definitely think I loved all of their games. I love everybody before me that scored their stack. I adored it. I respected it. I learned a lot from every single person that scored it before me has played ball with me at some point in time. Kelly, I played at Kelly's camp when I was younger. Her first year doing a camp in Maryland, in Easton, I went to it and played. They started me at the bottom of the pyramid, and they made me work my way up to get to the top. They made me play everybody at the camp.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they put me at the bottom. Like, why am I at the bottom? Like, because you need to play everybody with. And I'm like, all right. So every day I come to practice, say, you, and you, I'm playing all three of y'all today one-on-one, just to get y'all out of the way and mark my 3 off this board. That's how it was with them. And Tam became like a mom to me. Tam took me home every day. Tam kept me out of the street. She just kept me safe. She basically just took me home so I wouldn't be anywhere else but the gym. Huh?
Was Tam your assistant coach?
Yeah, she was my assistant coach.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah,
she was my assistant coach.
Oh man, you got it right there. It's there.
Yeah,
man.
She was right there. So I got to learn right from firsthand from her a lot. I mean, a lot. If I had a bad game, she taught me how to shake it off. You know what I mean? She showed me how to be consistent. I learned a lot from Tam. Tam taught me how to grow up for real, and be more mature. Because I was still, like I said, really immature in my first year or whatever. But Tam, she kind of was reapplying that pressure on me to get it right. She's like, you smarter than that. Right. You know what I mean? Not just are you just good at ball and you smart. She like put all of it to work. Like categorize, put it all in one category and go with it. And I started making. I got a couple letters. I got all that. I mean, honor roll, scholar honor roll. No, I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's what's up. Man. That's dope. So obviously getting 1,000 on the individual level was dope. You continue to score. As a team, you guys weren't as good as the year before. Maybe the loss of Taisha, I'm sure played a role in that as well. But talk about as a team, some of the teams you had to go against, in particular, maybe if you could share a little bit with Cambridge, which was always a rivalry. Obviously, I tell everybody Eastern Cambridge. They used to do a triple hitter. I don't know if you remember. They used to do a triple hitter in your junior year with us. They weren't doing that. Oh, yeah. Oh, that I'm telling you, that was dope. Yeah. So talk about Cambridge and also talk about Queen Anne's, because Queen Anne's had Hillary Fratsky, who was a freshman and sophomore at that time. Go ahead, talk about that.
I love Cambridge. I love Cambridge
because Christina Clamp.
I love Cambridge because it was Black women, to be honest. They were Black women. They all were athletic and they all could ball. And I had never been around that many women that were Black and could all do it. And like the whole team, they all could play ball, and I loved it. I mean, I loved it. They couldn't stand my ass, but I loved them. Oh man, we used to have it out. They probably was the most trash talking team I had ever played against. Them and Colonel Richardson. I bet. Yeah, them girls, they talk the most trash to me ever, man. They would try to say anything to me. I mean, you never would know. I could be walking up with bringing the ball up court, and somebody would be like right next to me, and they would be like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, are they serious?" Yeah, they would talk trash, man. Funny. But Queen Anne's was different. Queen Anne's girls, they was organized. Like, man, them structured. They had a structured team that was so organized. I adored that. After a while, so by the time I got to my senior year, I wanted to be a part of organized bowling. I wanted my team to win now. It wasn't really about me scoring anymore. It's about making wins. So, and I realized that was the way they were winning. They were winning because nobody had a truckload of obligation. Nobody had a whole bunch of having to do everything. They had 5 players. That's a great point. 10 players that could score 10 points.
That's a great point. Again, you're right. You're 100% right. Yep. You're 100% right.
We had 2 girls that could spend, to accumulate that. And then the other role players who might get 10 or 12 on their role nights. But they had literally every single girl could score 10 points, and I knew it. I remember we played my senior All-Star game. I think all 5 of the girls off their starting lineup made the damn All-Star team.
That's how your ass said.
Well, it was. I walked into the gym. I walked into the gym. I'm happy to see them, and they're overly happy to see me. And I didn't know why, because I thought they were better. So I'm like, man, I'm happy to see y'all. They like, no, we happy to have you on our team right now. We wish you would play with us.
Exactly.
Mr. Hyde actually, rest in peace. Mr. Hyde had actually came to my mom before and wanted me to move to Queen Anne's. He wanted me to play ball there. I
believe it. I
just was like, nah, I'm going to stay on down the East End.
I'm good.
I stuck on what I was already doing it there. I didn't want to come in and mess up their infrastructure that they already had there. To me, I felt like I wouldn't fit in there. I was a little bit more up and down, running back and forth on that court. They kind of set. They had 5 people that get down the court, and they set up a 2-3 or their 5-5, whatever. They was ready. I wasn't used to playing with girls like that, so I kind of just stuck to where I was at. I was already being free, able to do what I pleased, and I didn't want to mess up their infrastructure. But Queen Anne's, I love Queen Anne's, and them girls was some balling girls up there, man. I like Mika balling too. Mika do that. I used to tell her all the time. I love it.
She love seeing her ball. Queen Anne's is fundamentally sound.
Why I played. Mika got me to play too, because Mika, we used to go to the park down by Union Baptist a lot and shoot down there. And I knew Mika had scored. Didn't Mika score 1,000 points? And I think she told me that. She was
close to it.
She was bragging about it. And I'm like, I don't care what you did. I'm going to score 1,000 points too. So I was telling her that already. Years before I did it, I had already knew I was going to do it. I was like, I already know I'm going to get my 1,000 points if I ever play.
That's right. That's what's up. But yeah, those Queen Anne's girls, like even in one of the articles I read, even though they had beat y'all, it was one score in particular, they had beat y'all, I think it was 80-42. But you and Lynette had 40. You and Lynette had 40 of Easton's 42. And they had Christina Clant, they had Hillary Fratsky, they had Grace Belton.
Frat sisters, we call them
they had the Frat sisters. They had Latora Wiggins. But all those girls always respected you. Even in the paper, they said that she's tough to guard and stuff. So I'm sure in the All-Star game, they was happy to see you. Because now they're like, okay, she's on our squad now. So
right.
And I do want to get to the All-Star game. But before that, your final game for Easton, y'all lost. But I tell you, when you talk about, actually, no, I take that back. The game y'all ended up winning against Northeast, 38 points. 38 points. Come on, Buffy, 38 points, and then Lynette dropped 30. Talk to me about that game. What y'all was doing out there?
That game was crazy. I'll never forget what happened at the end of the
game. In the playoffs.
Because we only won by like 4 points.
Yeah,
we won by like 4 points. We won by 4 points because at the end of the game, we got 2 back-to-back steals to get to that.
Wow,
to get there. We got back-to-back steals as they was taking the ball out both times. We got them and scored off both transitions. Both times. And that was kind of what scored us to get to that 4 points ahead of them, and we just wouldn't let them score no more. We like, yeah, they ain't scoring no more. We up now, they ain't scoring no more. It's over. And that's just what that was. Northeast was just, and that was all commitment and empowerment coming about. It was like, oh man, we can't lose. We done made it this far.
Yeah, y'all put in the work. Y'all put in the work. Yeah, y'all put in the work. I mean, y'all, like I said, your individual numbers, but what you and Lynette did together to will some of those victories. So y'all was young, you know, the rest of those girls on your team. Because actually, I forgot my cousin on that team,
Olivia.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, yeah. So you know, it was a lot of younger girls on that team. So y'all didn't have the help necessarily, but y'all, you know, put them on your back as much as possible. And who y'all end up losing to after y'all beat them? Who y'all end up losing to that year? I'm not sure if it was Aberdeen again or I think it was someone across the bridge.
Again. I think it was Aberdeen again.
I think it was Aberdeen.
We lost to Aberdeen that last game.
Yeah. But I tell you, I mean, you know, you left it all out there. When you leave it all out there, even though, you know, when it happens, you know, you're upset anytime you lose. You know, your historic high school career, you had nothing to hold your head down about. So just like you were saying, you go to the All-Star game. And I mean, you killed an All-Star game. I mean, you had 24 and led all scores in the All-Star game. Talk about how fun it was, you know, out there just to play with everybody, people you didn't play with before.
Man, that was awesome, man. That was awesome. I love that. We played with everybody, but we felt like it was just one team. It wasn't even like it was an All-Star game. We really felt like it was. I felt like it was the Eastern versus Queen versus Sarah and they felt like that too. So we really was individually trying to beat them.
Right.
I remember Dame. I think it was Dame. He was our coach, Damon Nichols.
Oh yeah. Nichols, yeah.
He was our coach for that game, and he came to me. It was halftime. He said, "You got the green light." That's what he said to me. I don't think anybody ever really said that to me before, but he came over to me. He said, "You got the green light." He said, "Look, we're losing. You got the green light. Do what you do." I was like, "All right." And then I came in and I made our last push. We lost that game by 4 points. I might have to start playing them triple fours in the lottery. But yeah.
4 points.
Yeah, I did have game high there. I remember having game high.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's a fun game to play. We lost by 3 in ours, but it was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to play in, just playing with different people and whatnot. And it was actually going back. It wasn't Aberdeen. It was Edgewood. It was Edgewood. Y'all lost. Y'all beat Northeast. They lost to Edgewood. But great wrap to your career. What was your mindset as far as possibly playing college ball? Because I read something where you were talking about going to Norfolk. Not sure
State.
If you did go. What happened? Norfolk State. Talk a little bit about.
I was supposed to go to Norfolk State. I kind of had some issues with the scholarship program, and it was just giving me too much of a hassle. So I kind of just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. I had a couple of coaches up this way that were trying to get me to play. I felt like I had got too late to where I was supposed to left and had done what I was supposed to do. So I went to Chesapeake. I played up Chesapeake for.
Okay.
I think, and when I came to Chesapeake, they were 0-5. They had already played 5 games, and the coach talked to the athletic director. I was already attending the school. I just wasn't on the game. I just wasn't playing on the team, and they came and asked me to play. We won our first game, and they were on 5 when I came. We won the first game that I played in up there. And I even set some records at Chesapeake College as well. I think I was shooting over 50% a game up there. It was two records up there that I kind of had up there. Yeah, I know I shot over 50% a game for the whole year. But yeah, I played up Chesapeake, and like I said, I was supposed to go to Norfolk. I just never went down there. They gave me too much hassle. Like I said, I wasn't in love with the game enough to go through with all of that. So
go the extra mile. Yeah. That's real though. And like you said, different things are for different people. But no matter what, everything always comes together. It
always come around.
And everything always happens for you know what I'm saying?
Well,
everything always happens for a reason.
What was planned for me and what was written for me, I won't ever know the words that's written down for it. I just know the steps. Whatever steps I'm being pushed to follow, that's where I'm going at. I ask my higher power every day to just enlarge my territory. Wherever I'm placed at and whatever I'm needed for when I'm placed there, that's what I'm being used for. I'm being used as right now. I'm just a vial. I'm just doing whatever I'm supposed to do to get where I'm supposed to go. That's it.
That's what's up. And I really appreciate it. And this has been great. I know, like you say, you multitasking, so I'm going to get you out of here. I promise. I said an hour because you multitasking. But just one last thing, just for, it could be for kids. You kind of said this, but whether it's for kids or whether it's even for maybe adults that maybe haven't found maybe what they want to do in life, or maybe they're getting mixed up in some stuff, they don't know which way to turn. Just give them some encouragement on how to turn things around and how to find that place, whether it's a job, whether it's your inner peace, to where they can get to that place to where they are, in that happy place, so to speak.
I would definitely just say, like, man, hold on to guys and change your hands.
That's it though.
Real stuff, for real, because you really can't trust anything else but that. You know what I mean? You can't trust anything but the word, for real, because everybody telling you something and encouraging you ain't always to encourage you to do what you plan on doing either. Their encouragement could be for something you totally ain't listening for and wishing for. So I would just say, you just hold on, and everything that's for you is gonna come. Just hold on,
That's right.
One day at a time.
And that's my motto, is always just take it one day at a time, and then just kind of, and you've encouraged me, just kind of what you said earlier, is that you didn't know that losing your stepdad, which I'm sure hurt at the time. Obviously, I'm sure it still hurt. But that catapulted you into, your career. So just like you said, like, you never know, like, how God's going to move. You never know, like, what's going to happen in your life to get you to a certain point.
Right.
So where you at now, and now, I mean, you're doing great things.
Where you start letting Him take the wheel, and and not just using it as a metaphor to say, God take the wheel, Jesus take the wheel. It's where you just you close your eyes and you really take the wheel. And that's just what it's been on my life, for real. It's just been willpower and doing what I'm supposed to do. Like I said, like I keep saying, it's just all me. Just wherever I'm being placed at, I'm gonna make it my work. I'm gonna put my work down, and I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to be there to do. And it's I know it's no human that can stop it. You know what I mean?
That's
I know
right.
that where He put my name at, no human can erase it.
That's right. That's
so
right.
I would just say, can't stop that. I would say to hold on, and just know that whatever God got for you is yours.
That's real. That's real. Hey, I tell you what, just like the preach word, when it get good like that, I can't come behind that and say nothing else. I'm gonna leave it just like that. You said you got the last word, but real talk, Buffy. I just want to say I'm proud of you. I've been looking from afar of what you're doing. I know, like you said, we grew up together, know you my whole life. Seeing the peaks and valleys, and just keep doing what you're doing. Keep reaching for the stars. And I just want to again, give you your flowers while you can still smell them now. Because I think it's important to do that, and important for people to hear just a piece of your story. You know what I mean? Because they don't know all of it, but just to hear a piece of your story and how you overcame and how you doing great things. So just continue to do great things. Like you say, keep God first, and the rest is history.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. No doubt. Anything you want to say to anybody or anything? Yeah, I was gonna say, anything you want to say before we get off here that you want.
I appreciate you having me. Shout out to everybody that's been on here. Shout out to all the people you're gonna get on here, man. And thank you. I appreciate all that.
Appreciate that. Yeah, check the comments out. They definitely shouted you out in there. So when you get done doing what you're doing, check that out. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Real Sports Fan Podcast. We out of here. All right, Buffy. All right. Peace. All right. Take care.
See you.